heartbreaker of a loss, game one from the one on a battleground where they should have been able to bring the team fight, hopefully, versus Gen G. It just didn't quite work out for them there.
It did not. They actually started off pretty well, getting that first blood, showing that killer instinct, and they attempted the same thing. It's just they were a little slower, and so many times Tis shut them down. Kyocha, his quick reactions, able to dodge getting himself caught out. Gen G were just on top of playing against this the one style.
Yeah, they even had that defensive setup at level 1 where they expected the rotation. That's why they had Sake and Reset up in the top, so that if that fails, you could see the jet propulsion into multiple kills there on the Li Ming. But they came a little bit, they left a little bit too early, but still you could see they were even prepared for that moment.
Well, one person I want to dive into detail from the one who no doubt is going to be trying to lead the charge both figuratively and in the last game literally is Lies. If you don't recognize this name, it's because normally this player goes by the name of Melody C on SPT. And Tetcher, Lies has been a force in China since pretty much the very beginning of Heroes of the Storm. He was on Zero Panda, SPT, and now trying to bring the experience to this roster.
Flex player, innovator, ideas guy, strategy guy. He is so incredible at everything. Like you said, the only one here with experience on a BlizzCon stage. Lies is incredible, and he's brought a lot of flexibility to this team. Once again, I mentioned, him being able to play the Tyrell is not something, this kind of composition would not work with the one's usual lineup. They're able to go a little bit out of their usual style because of this.
Right, but is there a point of too much flexibility, Skimmy? Do you feel like maybe, you know, with only a couple of weeks working with Lies prior to this event, yeah, they've had some time between the two stages. Maybe this is a little too far and they should stick to what has worked for them in the group stage?
I mean, it always really sort of like connects with me back at my time in university, right? Where you're cramming for that final exam. You're like, oh no, Gen G, it's like my 50% final. I need to really cram, need to learn this composition. Can we make it work? And you just saw a lot of hesitation right there. And maybe it comes down to lack of preparation or just maybe some stage fright, right? You're here on a BlizzCon stage. As Tetcher's already pointed out, this is a massive, massive feat for the Chinese region.
Yeah.
You're maybe a little bit scared, but also the stage fright of knowing that you are up against Gen G. We saw the handshake there. I mean, we joke about it, but there's obviously a part of me that goes, what do we see going into game number 2? Because they're an aggressive team. We want to see that aggression.
Yeah, they're scary. But let's see where they try to take them in their last stand as we go back to the Battleground pool. Things they picked before, Shrines is one. And that's where we're going to go, although it's because the one has chosen first pick. Gen G takes us to Shrines, and though this is a comfortable place for the one, maybe a spot where they can tend to be out macroed. We saw the one pick this a few times in their series, but not to the same level of success as some other maps.
Yeah, they definitely like Infernal Shrines. It's been one of their most played maps and one of their higher win rate ones, but it's not one of those maps where you know that they can pull out a victory against a team like Gen G, like maybe a Sky Temple. And Gen G, of course, if you just go through their map percentage win rates, then you're likely never going to see anything below 80%. So in this case, just a solid map choice. Gen G wanting to shut them out, just on comfortable ground.
Right. The one has picked Shrines 3 matches and lost all 3 of those games. They're actually far better on Volskaya Foundry, where they get many opportunities to teamfight over those control points. But let's see what they can bring to Gen G in game 2.
The spotlight here for this ban will be the Diablo, of course, as that's been Gen G's priority on this map, and pretty much globally, that's the hero you want to look at here. Not going to let that one through. Maiev removed away now. Let's see where the one takes us, because we've seen all sorts of different heroes from them in that tank role, but you don't really want to prioritize that in first pick slot. I think you go back to the Tyrande pick, you go back to safety and flexibility with, again, this is EJZ's best hero, so why not continue to run that, flex around that, respond to what Gen G is doing with that Chinese flair, right, with something aggressive.
What's interesting for me is the fact that Kerrigan got let through the draft and speaking
Let's go!
If Kerrigan's available, you're going to pick it up. I mean, in the past, the one have always gone for that Garrosh, but the fact is, by banning out that Diablo, you're saying that we are we're far more scared of that, with the collision, the setup potential. Kerrigan, we don't think that you're mechanically gifted enough. Based on the hesitation that you've shown so far, we feel like you can have that Kerrigan.
Tyrande immediately stolen away here by Gen G. Now this does allow the one to pick up the Decade Cane, by far their most picked hero this phase, if they do want to react to that. But Decade Cane plus Kerrigan can be a very interesting matchup because he can struggle to follow her.
But ZJZ does like
pretty good.
Yeah, and his Lornados are like set to kill, right? Bring him right in with the Kerrigan, bring him in a little farther with the Lornado maybe. That could be the play.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can set up these combos for the Kerrigan. We saw Heroes Hearth play this against Tempest in the group stage. We are going to see now 2 great heroes to set this up. You've got the jet propulsion, you have roots, slows, stay a while and listen, also very good at setting this up. So this feels like a Kerrigan composition, right? But it's picked so early. This ban and then the next 2 picks for Gen G are going to tell us what they think about the responses to Kerrigan, because we haven't seen a Kerrigan pick this early in draft yet.
I think Gen G now have a question in their mind of what engagement tank are we more scared of? Is it the Garrosh or is it the Anubrak? The Cocoon, whilst valuable, is very, very strong, and it will find a lot of value. But for me, as the one right now, I'm thinking you have to ban that Tyrael. We've seen how much success Gen G have found, especially when they have it paired with a Tyrande, to make her have that sort of like that window when she's trying to get her heal back. The shield is there from Tyrael. You then got that protection for Raynor. Not to forget that it's double movement speed and double attack speed, so you just have so much ability to macro, micro, and just get kills.
And they will remove it, but remember, the most picked hero for Kyocha in this tournament has also been the Yrel, which serves a very similar function. And I think that the armor that she's going to provide, plus the ability to knock Kerrigan away while she's trying to set up these combos, is another soft counter to this hero. So sure, Tyrael was probably the best hero you wanted for the job, but I think the Yrel is going to come in and find the response. However, we do not see that. We're going to see Arthas instead, an older counter before Yrel existed, and the Malthael.
Are these drafts reversed? Because this is exactly the one style draft coming in from Gen G here. Bringing out the Arthas, exactly what the one used to take out Tempest on Sky Temple. And of course, that attack speed slow versus Kerrigan is fantastic. Malthael against what is going to almost certainly be a triple melee lineup is going to have a good time.
Yes!
The Muradin coming in as their tank, but Jaina for burst follow-up, and against Arthas too.
I was like, give me Jaina, you gotta pick Jaina, you gotta go Jaina. Jaina and Kerrigan, that's the old school, that's what you want, and now you get slows versus Arthas slows versus Malthael trying to keep them off. Oh, this is looking good for the one.
It feels very North American in a lot of ways.
A little bit.
And you have the Muradin's only the odd man out of this composition, but it's the comfort pick for their tank player Hehe, so it all works out in terms of comfortableness. So I do like this composition a lot. Now this pick here for Gen G, the Hammer, is the final test. Like, can you, against this composition, win with Hammer? If you can, like, Hammer's probably the most broken hero in the game. Like, I mean, I don't know how to overstate it even further, because this is the immobile hero that's slow, that pushes. You've got every CC you can imagine, plus the burst damage on the side of the one. Like, how does Gen G win with this is the question everyone wants to ask, but it's Gen G. I think they're going to do it.
You have an excellent point here. With Hammer being so immobile, you have siege tactics. Once again, that is cancelled once you unsiege now due to a recent nerf. And you have no cleanse other than Celestial Attunement, but you look at on the other side, there's Deckard Cain, there's Jaina, there's all these abilities that can try and lock down Hammer. If Gen G can protect Hammer against this composition, like you said, then I have serious fears for everyone in this tournament.
But it's what I was talking about, though, Gilly, before, is we're talking confidence. This is Gen G, and they say, we are a better team than you. Yes, Sergeant Hammer is that flex pick in that final spot, and maybe you're looking at this and going, why? I mean, maybe any other team would be thinking, that's a draft that you're not going to win. But they're showing that, look, based on your performance in game number 1, with the most aggressive composition on your map, your choice, your style, you weren't able to execute. So we're just going to play Sergeant Hammer. We don't need to show anything more. We don't think you're a competition. Let's get the 2-0.
It really is a call-out, because when they've played Hammer, Kerrigan's been banned. And most of the times, they've had Tyrael. That is how bold this pick is from Gen G. But skill level-wise, this is the current world champion. So can the one with everything you would ever want, including a Kerrigan getting hyphy on Infernal Shrines, get a win off of Gen G here?
We're gonna find out. I mean, I've got to be a little bit biased, of course, but
oh, it's bad.
This is going to be such a rough matchup. Once again, you're still running triple melee into Arthas, which is already pretty scary. I do have concerns.
I mean, I think that for me, you could talk about the confidence, you could talk about the ability that we've seen them to run Hammer so much, but if the one can't do it with this, then like the better team moved on, right? I mean, let's be real.
Let's be real, and let's do it. The one bringing Kerrigan to Gen G.
Can the Queen of Blades be the key to taking down our current HGC champions? Wolf would probably just like to say no. I'm going to say I believe in the one as we're getting ready for game number 2.
I'm hoping for a closer series, or rather a closer game here than we saw in game number 1 with the compositions. In game 1, we saw Gen G get everything they wanted, and they had their, first pick Hanzo, everything you'd expect for them. So it felt like it was a bad draft for the one. not stylistically, but for Gen G's strengths. They played into those. Whereas in this case, sure, you could make that same argument for the hammer pick, but it's not as blatant. You kind of have a counter to what Gen G is running. Speaking of that, we're going to introduce Sake on the Tyrande, Kyocha on Malthael, Rich on Sergeant Hammer, Reset on the Raynor, and finally Tist on Arthas.
And on the right-hand side, fighting for the life of China in this tournament, ZJZ on the Deckard Cain. Meng is bringing out the Kerrigan. Hugo is on the Blaze. Hehe is on the Muradin. And Lies is playing the Jaina. They are the one.
I mean, this is the most blatant. I have a composition that can be absolutely smashed and annihilated by yours. I've taken every risk. Every single risk in the game with this final hammer pick. I'm running a Raynor, and I still think that I'm that much better than you that I can win. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna see some of the best hammer play the world has ever seen, you know, since Heroes of the Storm has been released in this game, if Gen G can pull this off. So if you're a hammer main, check this one out.
And of course, it couldn't be anyone other than Rich to show us this. As for now, they're just doing the standard 4-man rotation, keeping XP up on all lanes, as Malthael heads up to top lane to solo lane against Hugo. He's going to catch most of the XP, losing a single minion. Not so bad at all.
They're just controlling vision here. They're able to identify that everyone in the one is mid now, so Rich heads bottom, right? And it's this constant call out coming from Kyocha. Kyocha says, okay, look, Hugo's come down, so be careful. Look at the positioning of Tist, blocking that rotation. No one can get onto where Rich is standing at the moment in these rotations. You see, Hey comes in for an aggressive stun here. There's the flank for Lies, but there's just too much sustain here. Sake was ahead of the grind, or ahead of the curve, excuse me, here. And I mean, that's it right there. Yeah. You've baited a rotation, you've hidden, Sake is hiding in that vent right there, and you just catch the dodgeball. And the one is out.
We see Meng backing up. They're not going to get themselves caught out of position here. But like you said, that was a solid kill, focusing on to Jaina, but stopping Muradin's Dwarf Toss early and then just keeping him in that Frozen Wastes, keeping comfortable and making sure that there was no escape. And First Blood is picked up by Gen G.
Just another defensive engagement. This is the identity of this team now. I mean, it's changed so much since the beginning of MVP Black, where you had such an aggressive team, a dive-focused team. Now it's just about slow, calculated play. Hey goes in for the engage again. They want reset here, but it's a bit sloppy, and they're going to get punished. Hey, he's caught now. He's slowed. Will he be able to get away? He's rooted.
He's backing up, keeping himself alive for the moment, but Tist is trying to move in. He gets stunned by Kerrigan, but it's more of an escape than anything. Already Deckard gone, and with no healing, Hehe having to use the Dwarf Toss out route on Lies, and that is a triple kill by Gen G at 2:20.
I just want to point out that we're talking about a Malthael comp here. Imagine our Yrel in this situation, something more tanky would be even scarier. I mean, we're dealing with Gen G having this squishy lineup. It gets so much burst. But it goes back to what you were saying in the last series, Tetcher, is just the inability to commit, to go, to be coordinated. They're running these compositions that have to be so on point. Everyone has to be so good in communication to make these picks happen. They're slow. He's coming in too early. He's getting found. He's getting picked off. And Gen G just has ultimate control over this game at the moment.
And Wolf, I am very scared looking at some of these talents. Full quest Arthas with that Frozen Waste, the upgraded Frozen Tempest damage, as we see once again the one trying to dive in. This time they're able to execute, but Lies, where's he gonna go? What's he gonna do? He's gonna get some potions and try to turn this round.
Okay, Tist here, gonna try to buy some time. The root goes down. They're on the cannon towers, they've got the minions, but the bigger picture here is, yes, they got a kill, but they're losing experience. Look at the bot lane. There's a push going on down there. Look at the shrine. Gen G has control over the map, so yes, they get a kill, but it's the worst timing ever.
Again. Quick Celestial Attunement to block. The root did not land, and Arthas is pulling away. The one are chasing. They're trying to finish him off, and Tist gets away. Maybe no. They put him back in with the Kerrigan, and they're going for Raider for a second time. But Tyrande with a 3-man stun.
Oh, this is not looking good for the members of Gen G, though. They're not able to do enough damage.
Black Harvest. Malthael.
He's healing.
He's healing. He's tanking it. He's tanking it. He's pulled in, and Kerrigan gets the kill.
And now Rich
is on the run. Rich wants the kill, but he's surrounded. He's body blocked. The knockback onto Hugo, and Rich kills off Hugo.
The mines.
Getting the double.
The mines will activate here as well. Rich, invincible on this hammer. He's going to clean him up. Sake, no fear.
Root coming in. ZJZ able to escape. Finally, Men goes down. ZJZ's got nowhere to go. And that is going to be him taken out by the towers. Most likely, no. Kyocha will even get a few more Black Harvest stacks. And that is bad news for the one.
This is a full wipe here. Everyone has died on the side of the one. No one comes out alive. Gen.G feels like a slingshot, right? No matter how much pressure you put on the band, no matter how you pull it back, it's going to fling in the other direction. They've taken every piece of aggression throughout this tournament, soaked it up, and turned it against their opponents. Their defensive engages, their turns with this setup, with the Sergeant Hammer, has been phenomenal. I mean, only really Dignitas has run similar compositions to find success internationally, but they have perfected this. I mean, we are talking about a Kerrigan-Jaina composition here with so much CC, and yet still, even though the one gets kills, they cannot finish off Gen.G. Gen.G is just too well set up.
And every time they fight, the stacks of Gen.G accumulate. 99 on Frozen Waste, 9 on Frost Presence, and 79 now on Black Harvest. This could be setting up for a huge Tormented Souls play.
It certainly could be massive. The one give up the objective. They're trying to soak. They invade the blue side camp, but now he does get caught. Very, very low. Lunar Flare on the knife's edge, just barely does not catch him.
They're pulling back here. The one trying to stop us getting caught out. They're going to try and make a wraparound play, but Gen.G
no.
so ready. They found Rich, but he's already out. He dodges
it
easily.
Rich, best hammer in the world here, but here comes the Roots. They're going to get a kill on Sake here. Could there be more?
Meng dropping low. The shield not enough, but he drops Rich low and takes him out. Reset. Almost caught in the blizzard, but finished off with the Storm Bolt.
Okay, they want more though. Kyocha, he's got the sustain. He wants to fight. Nice jump out from Hee.